We need to say the truth. White people have never been clean. Not now, not ever. The entire history of Europe is a story of people refusing to wash their asses while looking down on everyone else. Let's start with the ancestors you worship so much, medieval and early modern Europeans. People so filthy they were literally scared of water. They believed that bathing opened the pores and let in disease, so instead of washing, they simply wiped themselves down with dry rags and perfume. Imagine thinking water is bad for you while living in streets filled with feces and piss. Doctors warned against bathing, saying that it was too stimulating and would weaken the body. Instead, they told people to rub themselves with dry powders or just change their linens and call it a day. King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King, bathed twice in his entire life. Let that sink in. The most powerful man in Europe smelled like a rotting corpse dipped in cologne. Queen Isabella of Spain also bragged about only bathing twice in her entire life. These people ruled empires while literally festering in their own filth. You want to call other people savages? Let's talk about their hygiene habits, or lack thereof. They didn't wash their clothes. They just aired them out like letting filth touch fresh air was some kind of magical cleaning method. They slept in lice-infested beds and wore the same sweat-soaked, piss-stained clothing for weeks or months at a time. Queen Elizabeth I bragged about only changing her undergarments once a month. Her whole palace must have smelled like a backed-up sewer.
Family, did you know that bathing in Europe was seen as sinful, harmful, or even dangerous, and many of them considered bathing unnecessary, while other civilizations were bathing daily, perfuming their bodies and washing their clothes? Many Europeans could go weeks, months, and even sometimes years without a proper bath. While in most African civilization, in most black civilization, black folks were having showers on a daily basis. Some of them were even perfuming their bodies. They had natural soaps that they used to ensure that they were clean. And did you also know that many white people to date still do not consider bathing on a daily as something that they can do? In this video, we want to uncover this truth as white people also call out other white folks and try and just call out this issue, try to speak to them so that they may be able to consider showering on a daily basis and ensuring that they are fresh as something that is now normalized in their communities. Some of them are also saying they cannot use anything for washing. They cannot use sponge, they cannot use a piece of cloth. They do believe that they can only shower with soap and water. So far in this video, there'll be a lot to learn and to unlearn. So I want you to watch this series of videos as white folks teach each other and talk about how their communities have not accepted washing or rather cleaning themselves well. They are saying that it is a time that hygiene should be kept on the highest level. So fam, I want you to watch these videos. Once they're done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this video together, family.
We need to say the truth. White people have never been clean. Not now, not ever. The entire history of Europe is a story of people refusing to wash their asses while looking down on everyone else. Let's start with the ancestors you worship so much, medieval and early modern Europeans. People so filthy they were literally scared of water. They believed that bathing opened the pores and let in disease, so instead of washing, they simply wiped themselves down with dry rags and perfume. Imagine thinking water is bad for you while living in streets filled with feces and piss. Doctors warned against bathing, saying that it was too stimulating and would weaken the body. Instead, they told people to rub themselves with dry powders or just change their linens and call it a day. King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King, bathed twice in his entire life. Let that sink in. The most powerful man in Europe smelled like a rotting corpse dipped in cologne. Queen Isabella of Spain also bragged about only bathing twice in her entire life. These people ruled empires while literally festering in their own filth. You want to call other people savages? Let's talk about their hygiene habits, or lack thereof. They didn't wash their clothes. They just aired them out like letting filth touch fresh air was some kind of magical cleaning method. They slept in lice-infested beds and wore the same sweat-soaked, piss-stained clothing for weeks or months at a time. Queen Elizabeth I bragged about only changing her undergarments once a month. Her whole palace must have smelled like a backed-up sewer. Their mouths? A disaster. Europeans didn't brush their teeth. At all. By the time they were 30, their mouths were full of blackened, rotting stumps. King James I of England's breath was so bad, people would write him letters telling him how unbearable it was to be near him. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, indigenous Americans, Africans, and Asians were bathing daily, cleaning their teeth with herbs, and wearing fresh clothes. But Europeans pulled up smelling like roadkill and still had the audacity to call everyone else dirty. Let's talk about the cities you love to glorify: Paris, London, and Rome. These places were open cesspools. People threw their shit and piss into the streets because they didn't have proper sewage systems. London's Thames River was literally so full of human waste that it became toxic. In 1858, the Parliament had to shut down because of the stench, called the Great Stink, was so unbearable. Paris? Just as bad. The streets were covered with garbage, excrement, and dead animals. It was so bad that the air itself was dangerous to breathe. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, the Aztecs had running water, street cleaners, and aqueducts bringing fresh water into the city. So tell me again, who are the real savages? But let's not pretend this filth is just in the past. White people are still dirty today. You have to be convinced to wash your legs in the shower. Doctors are telling you to wash your damn feet because so many of you think that you can just let the water trickle down and that's enough. The 2020s exposed how many white celebrities don't bathe daily. Ashton Kutcher, Christian Bell, Jake Gyllenhaal, all proudly claiming they don't shower unless they see dirt. White parents are still proudly saying that they only bathe their kids when they start to smell. Imagine raising the next generation of walking biohazards. You normalized wearing outside clothes to bed, spreading whatever germs you caught from the outside world directly onto your sheets. You go to bed without washing your hands, your face, or brushing your teeth, and wonder why your skin looks like a medieval battlefield. Meanwhile, Black, Latino, Asian, and indigenous cultures have always prioritized hygiene. Africans were using shea butters, scented oils, and natural soaps before Europeans even knew what soap was. Indigenous Americans bathed in rivers daily using herbal cleansers. South Asian and Middle Eastern cultures developed some of the earliest bathhouses, perfumes, and skincare regimens. Latinos are known for showering twice a day and keeping their homes spotless. And yet, white people still have the nerve to act like they invented civilization. The reality? You have never been clean. Your ancestors weren't clean. Your great-grandparents weren't clean. Your hygiene habits, questionable at best.
Fellow white people of TikTok, it has come to my realization today that black TikTok thinks we stink. Well, a lot of white people do. So what the fuck are you all doing not washing your ass? I'm talking to you. You right there. Just because you get in a shower and you put water on your body and you wash your underarms, there's other parts of your body that you have to wash, okay? With a washcloth or a sponge, your body, okay, with soap. And some of you all need antibacterial soap, and a little bit of bleach in your water ain't gonna kill you. And I don't want to hear that some of you all think lotion and body oil is slimy. You have one set of skin on your body, and you have to take care of it. If you use the right kind of oil for your skin and the right type of body oils and lotion, it ain't gonna feel slimy. Okay? I don't stink. I wash all parts of my body. And I use the thing that scrubs your back. Yeah, because you know what? You all don't wash your back either. And that's how you get bacne. That's disgusting. Wash your back, wash your ass, and my God, wash the bottoms of your feet. That's disgusting. That's why your feet stink, because you don't wash your feet. You wash your whole entire body and all that nastiness goes down on your feet. That's disgusting. Wash your damn feet. And while we're at it, use lotion on your elbows and on your knees. Just because our skin's not dark and we don't have that ashy appearance on those areas, don't mean they ain't dry. And my God, use lotion on your feet and your heels. If it's getting to be sandal season, and if I see any more of us white people going out there and y'all got ashy looking damn ugly toes and feet, that's disgusting. You don't have to go out and pay for a pedicure to have nice toes and feet. Put lotion on your toes and feet and lotion on your body, even if you put lotion on at night and go to bed. I know that sounds really weird, but trust me on this. And put lotion on your feet and put socks on and go to bed. And wash your ass. Antibacterial soap, some of y'all probably need it. Lumi, not that smelly stuff. Dove makes really, really good soap, okay? And really, really good things that have actives that get rid of rough patches on your skin. Do you know why my tattoos look so good? Because I use stuff that has active ingredients. And you know why? That's why my eyebrow tattoos and the black on my body, on my tattoos, don't turn gray, because I take care of my skin.
I sent it to the group chat. And I was like, I remember just saying something like, ew, like I shower every night. Like I think it's gross if you don't like clean yourself every day. Something like that. Oh boy. Was I attacked? Yes, I was attacked. I was the bad guy. I was the bad guy. The responses I got to that message went a little bit like, what do you mean you shower every day? You're only supposed to shower 2 to 3 times a week. What do you mean you use a washcloth? That's super damaging to your skin. I just use my hands to wash myself. I shower once a week and I'm still clean. Okay, but I have a swimming pool and I use it a lot, so that counts. So I don't really have to shower that often. So yeah, unfortunately, these claims are very, very true.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've only had one friend use washcloths, and when she would stay with me, she'd say, "Can I have a washcloth?" And I said, "I don't have washcloths.
Yeah.
There's no washcloth. Use your hand, dummy."
I really do remember the first time I crashed at a poor friend's house, and then he handed over like a towel for after the shower, and then a bar soap, and then a little one. I go, "What's the little towel?" And he goes, "A washcloth." And I go, I threw it back at him. I'm like, "I'm good." And he was like,
So I only take a shower once a week, and let me tell you why. I feel like I don't need a shower every day because I don't go out and do anything. The only time I go out is to leave my son in school in the morning and to pick him up in the afternoon. I don't sweat, I don't do anything, so there's no reason for me to shower every single fucking day. See, for example, I'll shower today because I'm out in the sun sweating and all that stuff. But other than that, I don't need to shower. I know some people shower like every day, and it's like, do y'all smell that bad that you need to shower every day? Like, do y'all stink? Because I don't. My whole family thinks that I'm fucking nasty, but I'm just like, why? Why am I nasty? I like my own scent. And in reality, I'm doing the environment a favor. I'm protecting the environment because I'm using less water. I'm conserving water. And I am just channeling ancient traditions because they didn't have that luxury of being able to take a shower back in the days. And also, I think of not showering as a social experiment to see how much people will tolerate and what they'll say about my hygiene habits.
I am so sick as a white person, constantly having the question pop up why we don't use washcloths. So I'm going to let y'all know once and for all, phospholipids. Phospholipids are like, they're phosphoric hydrophilic heads. They got a little bit of like glutamate or something in them. And those are hydrophilic, meaning they like water. Well, they have lipid tails, fat tails. Lipids are fats that are attracted to the bacteria in the dirt and all that shit. So the hydrophilic tails that look like little spermies, the little tails, they go in towards the dirt and they go around the dirt and they encapsulate it because they're hydrophobic. So they're trying to stay away from the water, and the hydrophilic like little heads that are phosphorus, they're attracted to the water. So you put the soap straight on your body or whatever, up my ass. I don't care. I put it up there and all that dirt is getting encapsulated by the phospholipids and then it rinses off with the water. So I personally just don't see the point in, keeping track of washcloths for my face, my ass, whatever, and doing the extra laundry. And also washcloths are they get moldy and gross and they probably harbor more bacteria than if you just use the soap. So yeah, I get why people are disgusted because I literally put the bar soap in my ass and then wash my face. They're like, it's probably the imaging. But scientifically, 8th grade health science doesn't make sense to me. So the more you know.
Hygiene is definitely cultural. If you'd like some proof to support my hypothesis, here you go.
I don't say we avoid bathing, but we bathe very rarely.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you're talking about this.
Yeah.
She didn't have a bath for 5 months of her life.
Yeah, we didn't bathe her for the first whole part of her childhood. And
I don't wash my hands.
Oh, I was gonna say that too.
I don't care. I'm done. I'm done hiding it.
Oh, why do girls have to wash it? We don't touch nothing.
We don't even touch nothing.
I get when you take a shit. Wash if I'm in a public restroom and there's people in the stalls, I will even after I pee go to the sink, wash the water, pretend run the water, pretend I'm washing my hands.
I remember being told that I didn't need to shower today because we had swam at the lake. I remember being told that shampoo is fine because it runs down, it washes everything.
Wow.
I don't wipe my ass, so I do get yeast infections more often than most people. I stopped wiping my ass back in 2020 when COVID happened.
Yeah, we were talking about it the other day.
Washcloth. No washcloth.
Washcloth.
Oh no.
I think it's it's just different.
All hands on.
Do you wash your legs in the shower?
No.
No.
I do it if I have plans.
Legs, bro. I wash my whole body.
Yes, and yes. What kind of question is that? You have to. So why your legs specific?
Because I find in the white English culture, people say there's no need.
They don't wash their legs?
No.
The only thing as a man that you pay special attention to is this area and the little armpits, and that's...
Give me a minute!
I'm not black. Washes. I'm not gonna wash my legs and feet.
You think that's just a black people thing?
Clearly.
God have mercy upon us.
I want to talk about two things. The first being white people hygiene, where I think growing up in a white household and not really being parented per se in the realm of taking care of yourself, taking care of your hair, taking care of your skin, washing your body, brushing your teeth, it was never really taught. It was kind of just you just observe what everybody else is doing, you just play along rather.
Oh, poor baby.
This is a very cultural debate here. Guys in locker rooms in the NFL used to have this debate all the time. Some guys use bar soap, some guys use body wash, some guys have to have a rag. One of those little square rags.
White?
All use...
Whites?
You're not clean because the whites don't use a little rag.
How are you cleaning your ass, bro?
With the bar of soap.
Do you use a washcloth?
No, me either.
I think
disgusting.
Am I scrubbing my body with a washcloth?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know. I think we're.
That is a UTI waiting to happen.
I think we're in the minority. I really do. No, I think we are.
People use washcloths?
I think so.
I was just informed that there are people who use washcloths in the shower. As a grown adult, are you serious? This can't be real. You're telling me that you are going to use a bacteria-infested cloth rather than just using your hands?
You can literally wash a washcloth after using it. How you wash your clothes, you put it in the washing machine, and it cleans it so you can use it again. Also, you can have more than one washcloth. You see this right here? This is my washcloth, which I use when I'm taking a shower. When I'm done with it, I'm going to wash it so I can use it again. And if for some reason I couldn't use it, I would just get a different one. And yes, many grown adults, like myself, use a washcloth, or a sponge, or some item to cleanse their bodies that isn't their bare hands. And they're not expensive at all. You can get a pack of them at almost any store for less than $5. And if you care about basic hygiene, which you should, it's worth the money.
Family, today's video is one funny video because when you look at the influence of white folks, in Africa or in black communities all over the world, you'll notice that white folks brought about religion, they brought education, and they were pushing for a lot of teaching, in Africa and in black communities all over the world. But the funny thing we are noticing right now is the fact that I just noticed of a truth that has been hidden for the longest time, and white people are coming out and speaking about the same. This is something that I've never thought of, that white people for the longest time never knew how to groom well, that white people do not know how to wash their bodies well. And some white people, like you've seen in the videos, are now calling out other white folks and saying, yo, it's time that you know how to bath. And it says that in the early days in Europe, white people saw washing or rather washing their bodies as unnecessary. This is something that they believed was unnecessary. This is something that for them was a taboo, was dangerous. How do you bath every day? But right now we are seeing a woke generation trying to teach others that should end, And some people are also saying that earlier black civilization used to ensure that black folks shower. They had their natural soap, they had perfume. They wanted to ensure they're fresh, and this guy was trying to teach the white community that this is something that they should actually consider. When I look at the history of early Europe, the fall of the Roman hygiene, this is what I noticed from my research. The Roman Empire had advanced public baths and water systems. When Rome collapsed in the 5th century, much of the infrastructure fell apart. Christian leaders in the Middle Ages began associating nudity and public baths with immorality. As a result, bathhouses closed and people began avoiding bathing altogether. This just shows you where the problem started, in the fall of the Roman hygiene. They were considering bathing and associating nudity and public baths immoral, So slowly and slowly, white people in the white civilization thought that bathing was actually wrong, because now it associated with nudity according to them, and that is where the problem actually started. We are now seeing a generation of people who do not want, even to shower. Then when we look at the medieval Europe, the dry wash era, from roughly the 6th to the 15th century, many Europeans believed water would carry disease and the body through open pores. Many people until today actually believe that they should not shower daily because of the same reason, that water could carry diseases into the body through open pores. Instead of bathing, they relied on changing undergarments occasionally. They also were rubbing themselves with dry clothes. This is something that people actually do even today. They're rubbing themselves with dry clothing. They're saying, no, we won't continue with the washing as usual. We won't be using water. We do not want to endanger our bodies with diseases. So they're rubbing themselves with dry clothes. Just imagine the smell that can come from that over time. Using perfumes or powders to mask odor. You notice perfuming your body and you're not showering, just concentrate smell over time. Then there's the issue of Queen Elizabeth in the 16th century, who's famously quoted as saying she bathed once a month, whether I needed it or not. That is what is quoted. Queen Elizabeth, the biggest we can ever think about, usually bathed only once in a month. That shows us that in the white civilizations, they did not believe in bathing. And that's why we are seeing now white people calling out other white folks, telling them that it's time you use sponge and soap and wash yourselves. Oh, I see many white people say they only wash themselves if they feel they're dirty. They do not want to wash themselves every day. And they say that people who wash their bodies with sponge are actually poor people. And that is actually a stereotype. That's something that is wrong, you know. Then when we proceed, when we look at West Africa, you know, and the civilizations in Africa, daily washing in rivers, oils for skin, scented herbs is something that is common. Right now, I am in the village. You can notice with my environment right now. And the one thing I can assure you, even today, when you go to the rivers during the midday, around 12 noon, you'll find a lot of people showering, you know, just ensuring they're clean in the village. You know, they do not have running water, so they cannot shower from showers from above. So they go to the streams and rivers and ensure that they bath, you know, cleanly. So there is a section for ladies and a section for men, and that is the contrast with other civilizations. These are things that started very early, including in West Africa, just like I've mentioned. When you look at the civilizations in the Middle East and North Africa, Hammam's bathhouses were central to community life. You know, when you look at Japan and China, bathing was a daily ritual for spiritual and health reasons. Even indigenous people in the Americas practiced sweat baths, you know, sweat baths, river bathing, and herbal cleansing. You know, bathing just gives you a form of cleansing. You know, when you're from doing, you're from a hard day, when you bathe, you find strength. You know, that's cleansing. When you're from a sexual intercourse, you know, in Africa it's believed many a times that it's proper before you even carry your kid that you cleanse, you know, that you actually shower. And these are things that are actually working. You know, showering is as important not only for your health and hygiene, but from the spiritual realm. It's really good, you know, to be fresh while doing certain things. Then the Industrial Revolution brought overcrowded cities and diseases outbreaks like cholera and typhus. Doctors slowly began recommending regular washing, but for many poor Europeans, it still wasn't daily. Soap production was expensive and bathing facilities limited until the late 19th century. The modern myth versus the historical reality. Today, white Western societies, you know, promote the idea of being the cleanest, but historically, they were centuries behind many non-European cultures in hygiene. The shift to daily showers in the West didn't become common until the mid-20th century. And the funny thing, we're in the 21st century, and right now, people are still not accepting, you know, showering, bathing on a daily basis as something that they can do. Using sponge is something they feel that is for the poor. Some people are even questioning that they can only have a bath, you know, when it's necessary, when they feel they are dirty. But for many people, especially in the early African civilizations, this was an activity for the daily. You must go to the streams, you must go and shower. You know, there is no going back with that. You must be clean. Growing up as African children, you're taught that you must shower on a daily so that you all are fresh and neat and well groomed. Family, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about the video. Like the video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'll be very, very grateful. Lastly, I'd really appreciate if you all do consider subscribing to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, the only way you can be able to achieve this milestone is by you all sharing this video widely and ensuring that your families and friends learn from this amazing channel. Thank you guys, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.